Today we will have a very, very good lesson to practice. This lesson, just allow it to be applied to whatever is on your mind that is not peaceful. Because the lesson is, let me perceive forgiveness as it is. I love this one. I think we need it. Okay. Let us review the meaning of forgive, for it is apt to be distorted and to be perceived as something that entails an unfair sacrifice of righteous wrath. It is perceived as something that entails an unfair sacrifice of righteous wrath, a gift unjustified and undeserved, and the complete denial of the truth. In such a view, forgiveness must be seen as mere eccentric folly, and this course appear to rest salvation on a whim. This twisted view of what forgiveness means is easily corrected when you can accept the fact that pardon is not asked for what is true. Pardon is not asked for what is true. It must be limited to what is false. It is irrelevant to everything except illusions. Truth is God's creation, and to pardon that is meaningless. All truth belongs to Him, reflects His laws, and radiates His love. Does this need pardon? How can you forgive the sinless and eternally benign?
The major difficulty that you find in genuine forgiveness on your part is that you still believe you must forgive the truth and not illusions. You conceive of pardon as a vain attempt to look past what is there, to overlook the truth, in an unfounded effort to deceive yourself by making an illusion true. This twisted viewpoint but reflects the hold that the idea of sin retains as yet upon your mind, as you regard yourself. Because you think your sins are real, you look on pardon as deception. For it is impossible to think of sin as true and not believe forgiveness is a lie. Thus is forgiveness really but a sin, like all the rest. It says the truth is false, and smiles on the corrupt as if they were as blameless as the grass, as white as snow. It is delusional in what it thinks it can accomplish. It would see as right the plainly wrong, the loathsome as the good. Pardon is no escape in such a view. It merely is a further sign that sin is unforgivable, at best to be concealed, denied, or called another name, for pardon is a treachery to truth. Again, these are all the ego's ways of forgiving. Guilt cannot be forgiven. If you sin, your guilt is everlasting. Those who are forgiven from their view their sins are real are pitifully mocked and twice condemned, first by themselves for what they think they did, and then once again by those who pardon them.
It is sin's unreality that makes forgiveness natural. It is sin's unreality that makes forgiveness natural and wholly sane. A deep relief to those who offer it, a quiet blessing where it is received. It does not countenance illusions, but collects them lightly with a little laugh and gently lays them at the feet of truth, and there they disappear entirely. So it is sin's unreality that makes forgiveness natural. and a deep relief to those who offer it, a quiet blessing. Forgiveness is the only thing that stands for truth in the illusions of the world. It sees their nothingness and looks straight through the 1,000 forms in which they may appear. It looks on lies, but it is not deceived. It does not heed the self-accusing shrieks of sinners mad with guilt. It looks on them with quiet eyes and merely says to them, "My brother, what you think is not the truth." The strength of pardon is its honesty, which is so uncorrupted that it sees illusions as illusions, not as truth. It is because of this that it becomes the undeceiver in the face of lies, the great restorer of the simple truth. By its ability to overlook what is not there, it opens up the way to truth, which has been blocked by dreams of guilt. Now are you free to follow in the way your true forgiveness opens up to you? For if one brother has received this gift of you, the door is open to yourself. There is a very simple way to find the door to true forgiveness and perceive it open wide in welcome. When you feel that you're tempted to accuse someone of sin in any form, do not allow your mind to dwell on what you think he did, for that is self-deception. You can read that again. There is a very simple way to find the door to true forgiveness and perceive it open wide in welcome. When you feel that you are tempted to accuse someone of sin in any form, do not allow your mind to dwell on what you think he did, for that is self-deception. Ask instead, would I accuse myself of doing this? Would I accuse myself of doing this? Thus will you see alternatives for choice in terms that render choosing meaningful and keep your mind as free of guilt and pain as God Himself intended it to be, and as it is in truth. It is but lies that could condemn. In truth, is innocence the only thing there is? Forgiveness stands between illusions and the truth, between the world you see and that which lies beyond, between the hell of guilt and heaven's gate. Across this bridge, as powerful as love, which laid its blessing on it, are all dreams of evil and of hatred and attack brought silently to truth. They are not kept to swell and bluster and to terrify the foolish dreamer who believes in them. He's been gently wakened from his dream by understanding what he thought he saw was never there, and now he cannot feel that all escape has been denied to him. He does not have to fight to save himself, does not have to kill the dragons which he thought pursued him, nor need he erect the heavy walls of stone and iron doors he thought would make him safe. He can remove the ponderous and useless armor made to chain his mind to fear and misery. His step is light, and as he lifts his foot to stride ahead, a star is left behind to point the way to those who follow him. Forgiveness must be practiced, for the world cannot perceive its meaning, nor provide a guide to teach you its beneficence. There is no thought in all the world that leads to any understanding of the laws it follows, nor the thought that it reflects. It is as alien to the world as is your own reality. And yet it joins your mind with the reality in you.
Today we practice true forgiveness, that the time of joining be no more delayed. for we would meet with our reality in freedom and in peace. Our practicing becomes the footsteps lighting up the way for all our brothers who will follow us to the reality we share with them. That this may be accomplished, let us give a quarter of an hour twice today and spend it with the guide who understands the meaning of forgiveness and was sent to us to teach it. Let us ask of him, let me perceive forgiveness as it is. Then choose one brother as he will direct, and catalog his sins as one by one they cross your mind. Be certain not to dwell on any one of them, but realize that you are using his offenses but to save the world from all ideas of sin. Briefly consider all the evil things you thought of him, and each time ask yourself, would I condemn myself for doing this? Let him be freed from all the thoughts you had of sin in him. And now you are prepared for freedom. If you have been practicing thus far in willingness and honesty, you will begin to sense a lifting up, a lightening of weight across your chest, a deep and certain feeling of relief. The time remaining should be given to experiencing the escape from all the heavy chains you sought to lay upon your brother, but were laid upon yourself. Forgiveness should be practiced through the day, for there will still be many times when you forget its meaning and attack yourself. When this occurs, allow your mind to see through this illusion as you tell yourself, let me perceive forgiveness as it is. Would I accuse myself of doing this? I will not lay this chain upon myself. In everything you do, remember this: no one is crucified alone, and yet no one can enter heaven by himself. So we can spend some time in quiet and practice this exercise as he directs, as we remember to let me perceive forgiveness as it is.
So we can just gently allow to observe if there is still any strain in the mind, any control or defense, any feeling of contraction. Just give that feeling a little bit of attention. Because when we look directly at anything, it goes away. When we don't look, it stays. So this lesson explains that we cannot forgive the truth. And when we have made true what is not true, we can't forgive it because we believe it's a sin and we feel very guilty for it. So the practice is to overlook the illusions we believe are there, to learn to overlook rather than to make real. not to deny or ignore. It's very much about acknowledging what you believe, what you perceive. But then to say, perhaps I have been wrong. And that's a way of inviting Spirit to help you out. Just to say, perhaps I have been wrong. And to the ego, that's impossible, because it states, but this is what I see, this is what I perceive and believe. It seems very real. But with Spirit, it is all possible for it to vanish, for the illusions to vanish. So when you join with Spirit, there is a miracle that will wash away the problem that is projected. That's why this lesson will be so helpful today for us all, because it explains this and it supports the practice. He's saying it's because of the idea of sin that it's hard to forgive. Because you conceive of pardon or forgiveness as a vain attempt to look past what is there. Like you see something and then you're told to forgive it. And it seems weird, how can you overlook what is there? And this would be an unfounded effort to deceive yourself by making an illusion true. And this twisted viewpoint reflects the hold that the idea of sin has on your mind as you regard yourself. It's all about changing your self-perception. To release the idea of sin in your mind. The dark spot or the doubt. And it's so freeing. It's so freeing when you allow to question the belief in sin or the illusions. Yeah, because it says in the 8th paragraph that the strength of pardon is its honesty, which is so uncorrupted that it sees illusions as illusions, not as truth. It is because of this that it becomes the undeceiver in the face of lies, the great restorer of the simple truth. By its ability to overlook what is not there, by its ability to overlook what is not there. Why would you even need to overlook something that isn't there? But it's believed to be there. If there is anger or a fear or something, it's believed something is wrong outside. But with pardon, true pardon, there is an ability to overlook what is actually not there. And this opens the way to truth, which has been blocked by dreams of guilt. Which has been blocked by dreams of guilt. Now you're free to follow in the way your true forgiveness opens up to you. For if one brother has received this gift of you, the door is open to yourself. So if one brother receives the gift that you forgive him, you forgive what you perceive in him, the error you perceive, the wrongdoing you perceive. whatever your mind has projected on the other one that makes you feel fearful or tension or something. When you overlook that, the other one receives a gift of you, and this is an open door to yourself. This is how you free yourself. So, and I love that all you can offer, if it feels like it's still hard, you offer your willingness. You offer your willingness to see differently. Because you do need a miracle to change your mind about your mind. Something beyond your own strength. And we can absolutely ask for miracles. And allow some lightness in, some light in. Some care into a place where there is contraction or fear. Allow some care in. Allow Spirit to light up your mind. And if there is something you need to put on the altar, we can do an altar session, but we can do it inwardly. You just make it prayer, make it to something you give over to the Holy Spirit within, to release it if there is still something there after this meditation. And if you need to mention it out loud, just...
I think I would lay something out here, and I feel I'm struggling with this lesson. And this is about when I come to this, would I accuse myself of this? It feels like the sin is in me. So I don't know, it feels like something really stuck when I come to this.
So when you feel someone else is wrong, and you think of, would I accuse myself of this? You feel the sin in you. Yeah, that's what it is.
It's more like I'm accusing myself than I'm accusing someone else.
Yeah, I know many people would say, yeah, I sure would. You know?
I would accuse myself, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, the thing is you already did accuse yourself, and that is why you accuse someone else. Because it's unbearable for the ego to have it rest on you, so it has to project, has to put it outside. That's the whole point of this world, of a separate mind. Because we're not here to make error real. We're not here to, like he says in this lesson, like to make the error real and then forgive it. That's impossible. We're here to learn that we are free, that it was never real. But we need some help with that. We need the Holy Spirit. We need God. If we try it with our little minds, with the separate mind, we will not accomplish anything. We will just feel like we try to overlook something that we believe is real. And then it's just some weird mind gymnastics. It doesn't work. So we're here to just be really present, really. You know, this world is the projection of the mind, and we're here to look at it, to become present, to see. It's not threatening us in truth, really. It's not. Yeah, it can't do anything to us, to the mind.
It's I'm part of the project. This image, this body, this identity is part of the projection.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. Me and Francois, it feels there's something for me and Francois both.
It might be everybody, but there was two names that came to my mind. Yeah.
There's something just about seeing Francois' reaction to the picture of him smiling yesterday. Feels related to what I'm going to share as well, but we went to the International Day at the school yesterday. Emotional now. I just hate talking when I feel emotional.
There's no rush.
Yeah, I felt like there was a lot up for healing yesterday. So we had the expression session in the morning. There's a lot of comparison thoughts. Like in that session, it feels safer. I feel like I'm less watched. I can set up the conditions that I need to make it feel. Yeah. I feel like there's a whole load of factors in that Tuesday night one that just makes it hard for me. So there's all stuff around that that's unclear. And then at the International Day, it was like it's quite hard not knowing anyone. But I've done those kind of things, school fairs and that with the kids' old schools where I knew everyone, and that's hard as well. It's just the whole thing feels. It brings up those feelings, yeah. Gareth was with me, so that was quite nice, because I would normally go and do those things on my own and make it even more difficult. Yeah, just feelings of being in infant school and being the little loner that doesn't speak. And and it feeling like a burden to make friends and a burden having them.
Yeah, but that's a good thing to see. See what is there a people pleasing aspect there, or should be a real
friendships have been me, it's felt like no boundaries and like just having a friend, and then it just becoming me, like running around doing, or even just like nice things like being invited to places and not really wanting to go and feeling obliged, and just all of that, just the whole concept of friendship really I've never understood.
Yeah, you're not a person in the world, and you can never become one. The ego is going to try to have you become one, because you see what you think is normal, but it's a very weird theater. You can never fit in there. You're not meant to. You're meant to shine your light, period. Like at the wedding. It's the same anywhere you go. You're there to shine your light. You're not there to make something happen on the timeline. But I think it comes in because it's about the kids and the school and the families. It's a lot of guilt in those concepts.
Yeah.
But you can release that.
Yeah, doing those kind of things in the past, and it's always felt torturous, but I've done it because all the kids want me to be part of that. Yeah. Yeah, we just kind of went and set off to the side. There's a whole load of things, like everything was free as well, and I thought, God. In England, I had a whole load of comparison thoughts in England, like all the parents would be getting drunk because there was alcohol there, and because it was free, I just said civilised. In England, it wouldn't be. The kids would just be taking food, it'd be all over the floor, and so a lot of judgments around the British and. Yeah, just bodies in a confined space as well, like mingling and just. Yeah, the go and shine your light bit isn't landing really right now. Yeah, I think when something you said in the Barcelona retreat, where you said like, oh, I gave up all attraction to the concept of friendships, it stood out for me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm probably still thinking there's something wrong about that. I'm not allowed to. It's just all the efforting around all of that. Just exhausting.
Yeah. I'm
probably feeling like weird if I don't invest in it as well.
Yeah, it's this thing, you cannot live in two worlds. You cannot have one foot in one world and the other in awakening. Like, you will feel so split. It sounds like that was part of the self-concept was guiding you to even go to this event, like you really should go or something, but you were not really feeling what it was for you.
No. Yeah, because they were asking for volunteers, and that would have been something that I'll do it. So I'd kind of gone to that thinking, oh well, I'll go and have a look, and I can see if that is something I would like to do, like help out on a stall, or absolutely not. I didn't want to be there. That's all right.
Yeah, it is. You can free yourself.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. You want to try to share, Francois? Or did you already just join when I mentioned your name? Hello. Could you guys not hear me? Or?
Yes.
Yeah, good, yeah.
I'm experiencing this morning again. I have a sore throat and ears. Throat.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just these thoughts of me in a linear centered way that I have to can I have to still deal with this this feeling. I have to forgive it, give it over again after so many times, but again. And then there's this fear of me. And then there's a fear of breathing even.
So the ego doesn't allow you to breathe. The ego wants that you don't even breathe.
That's the thing. And that's the big guilt. It's each moment that I'm not choosing forgiveness, I'm choosing death and power and fear and pain and suffering and imprisonment.
Yeah. So instead, can you allow to choose for the willingness to live, willingness for life? Like if you can't yet choose for life, you can say I can choose for willingness.
And that willingness, it seems it's gentleness.
Yeah.
And incredibly, that gentleness is it. I think that I have to somehow start with me. I can start, then I had this thought, I should start with my brothers, Forgiveness, being gentle, being loving, being always looking at the thoughts that I'm thinking about and the judgments, all these stuff. And then, but it's like when I come to me, it's like that there is no thing as forgiveness. It's just
You want to guide him a bit?
it's very heavy looking after this body, and all these thoughts about this body, it's very heavy.
I think it's important, Francois, that you know that you're not guilty for those thoughts. Like, those thoughts are heavy, but they're not you.
I get glimpses of what you're saying. Last night when we was watching a movie, and I was seeing this in each of everyone. It's just a love for everyone. I thought, I get glimpses of this love for everyone, and seeing their innocence, and they're just everybody faces everyone's beauty, and it just shined last night. I was like, I love this. I see this is me. Please let everyone see this is me.
Yeah, that's great.
So that's why it's something that's really beautiful in everyone, and even in me. I think there's some glimpses, but the heaviness of guilt is it's going to take a miracle. It's going to take a miracle.
Yeah, that's it. It's the miracle. The miracle is that shift.
Yeah, we're not here to be martyrs, Francois. We're not here to die as martyrs anymore. We're here to enjoy, to feel the joy, to enjoy each and every moment.
That's exactly ego. That's the ego. You have to die. You martyr. You have to die with all this guilt, because that's it's not a conscious thing, but I can see what the ego is trying.
Mm-hmm. Let's believe that in the medieval times.
That's its salvation. Yes, that's what the people wanted.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is no punishment in forgiveness. So if you notice that there's any sort of punishment in you, thoughts about others, thoughts about yourself, that's a sign that you need to ask for help to see it differently. You need a different perspective. Because in truth, that light, that beauty that you saw last night, that's always there.
Yes. Yes. Oh. It feels like it's going to be too late. I'm going to get the lesson and my life is going to be over. Definitely. I'm just going to get the message in it.
We only just begun.
I know that's the truth. I feel it. I know it completely. It's just that's the black curtain that doesn't allow me to feel always that.
Well, to the Holy Spirit, that heavy curtain is like a light veil that just is blown away by the gentle breeze. There's no heaviness to it. Not really.
So it's to put in some perspective. So when I'm even gentle with myself, I see that's what I'm trying to discern, being gentle with myself and seeing that I should change here. This is an error or mistake. I food.
Well, I think the change here is to be gentle with yourself. Because you're obviously not feeling very gentle towards yourself.
Yes, I'm not. Yeah.
So it's both.
Yes.
Yeah, the gentleness is the change.